This is Anand Pai from Academy in Pursuit of Engineering Excellence. Today we will take up a miscellaneous topic in engineering mechanics, which is velocity and acceleration in polar coordinate system. Now let us see what is the difference between Cartesian coordinate system and the polar coordinate system. Now why is a coordinate system used in general? Coordinate systems are used to specify a point. Now how do you specify a point in coordinate system? You specify the point by using something called position vector. Now if I say position vector in Cartesian coordinate system can be written as x into I plus y into j. Now what are these I and j? These are unit vectors which specifies the direction. So here I is the unit vector in this direction and j is the unit vector perpendicular to that. Now if I see in this case, if I say position vector p or point p, I am specifying using position vector p. Now this position is specified if I have x in the I direction, this means x distance in the I direction plus y distance in the j direction. So this can be the point here, this distance actually is y and this distance is x. So like that we specify the point. Now how do we specify a point in a polar coordinate system? In a polar coordinate system P, polar coordinate system, the point P is specified in relation to the origin O. But here the difference is that the distance from O to P, that is a direction which is taken as ER direction. And the direction perpendicular to the ER direction in the anti-clockwise direction is called E theta. Okay, if you rotate this ER in 90 degree anti-clockwise, you get E theta unit vector. Now how do we specify a point here? A point is specified here, P is given as ER in the direction ER. What is the distance we are going? The distance is specified as the radius R. So my P actually will be R into ER. That is the way we say in polar coordinate system. Now this is about position. Now let us see about velocity. If we have to take velocity, we have to differentiate the position vector with respect to time. So let us differentiate position vector with respect to time. So this will be dp by dt. Now this dp by dt can be written as d by dt of xi plus d by dt of yj. Now since I and j does not change as the particle changes, only x and y changes. So I can write this as dx by dt into I plus dy by dt into j. Now here x can change. Now what is velocity? Velocity is change in position with respect to time. So this point which is P might go to another point P1. Now when it goes to another point P1, you see that the unit vectors j, I and j, unit vectors I and j remains constant. That means its direction remains constant. And that is the reason I can take it outside. Now let us see a velocity in polar coordinate system. In polar coordinate system, this can be written as dp by dt is equal to r is equal to d by dt into r into er. Now when you see this, now here er doesn't remain constant because as the position changes, say the position goes to this point P1, then what happens? My er will be in this direction er and my E theta will be perpendicular to this. So er and E theta will be perpendicular to er. So as the particle changes its position or the position is changed, my unit vector changes. So I cannot take er as constant with the time here. So this can be written as dr by dt into er plus r into der by dt. Okay. So now what is dr by dt? If I see dr by dt is velocity vr. That is how it changes with the velocity in the r direction into er I can write. Then I can write r into der by dt. Now the main condition here is to find out this der by dt. Now dp by dt I will write it as velocity v. So velocity v is given as vr into er plus r into der by dt. Let this be equation number 2 and let this be equation number 1. Okay. So in equation number 2 we have to find out what is der by dt. So let us find out how der changes with time. Okay, or er unit vector changes with time. So now let us consider a unit vector er, and then with time say the direction has changed. Okay, er direction has changed. So this is er plus delta er. It has changed its direction. Okay. So now this particular one will be er or delta er. Okay. And say this distance, what is there, the angle by which it has changed, say it is say it can be d theta. By d theta angle it has changed. Now if I have to find out what is der by dt, if I have to find out der by dt, I can write this as der by d theta. How? Der changes with the change in theta into, I can say, d theta by dt. Okay. Now what is d theta by dt? D theta by dt is omega. So this I can write it as omega, which is angular velocity. So d theta by dt is angular velocity, and then der by d theta. Now let us see what is der by d theta. Now if I see what is, I will put this as equation number 3. Okay, so der by dt is this. Now we have to understand what is der by d theta. Now der by d theta, if you say in the basic thing, it is limit delta theta tending to 0. I can say delta er divided by delta theta. Now let us see how does this come about. Now what is the direction of delta er? Delta er is in this direction. And what is the direction of this is the direction of delta er. Now when delta theta or this d theta goes to 0 or delta theta goes to 0, what would be this direction? Delta er will be in the direction perpendicular to er. I'll repeat it again. So when delta theta goes to 0, that means this line will come close to this. Okay. What would be the direction of delta er? Delta er direction will be in the direction of e theta. Since this is unit vector, we don't have to worry about the relative distance of this or relative magnitude of this, because afterwards to find out the unit vector we divide by the magnitude. Okay. Whenever we have to find out the unit vector, what is the unit vector? If I say delta er unit vector, this is equal to magnitude of delta the er, delta er, the vector, divided by magnitude of delta er vector. Any vector we can get it. So when you divide by the magnitude, it will be unity only. Okay. So that is why der by d theta will be e theta. Now substituting back into 3, we can get der by dt is actually equal to omega into e theta. Now this 4 we are going to substitute back in equation number 1. Okay. Substituting 4 in 1. What is equation 1? Let us recall again. Equation 2. I'm sorry here. So that if you substitute back in equation 2, If you substitute back in equation 2, you will get here V is equal to VR into ER plus, here we get R into omega into E theta. Are you getting that point? This omega E theta gets substituted instead of DER by D theta. So this is how you get velocity in the polar coordinate system. So this, let it be phi. So here observe, what is this? This goes to the tangential velocity. For example, if I have a string and I am rotating with the omega angular velocity, this R omega is the tangential velocity V theta. And if I release the string length, if I increase, then I will have VR. So when the string length is increasing as well as it is rotating, its velocity will be somewhere in this direction. Okay. So this is the expression for velocity in polar coordinate system. Now let us see the acceleration in the polar coordinate system. So now we have got this already, that my velocity is actually equal to VR into ER plus we have R omega into E theta. So R omega into E theta we have. Now what is acceleration? Acceleration is given as dV by dt. So now if you see this, this can be d of dt of VR ER plus d of dt of R omega into E theta. So now what are these? Now if I do this, this would be VR into DER by dt plus I will have dVR by dt into ER, correct? I am doing a, I am opening this up, plus here if I say this can be dr by dt into omega into E theta plus I can have R into d omega by dt, where omega is the angular velocity, d omega by dt into E theta plus I can have R into omega into dE theta by dt. Now if you observe here, this DER by dt, we have already got it. What is that? It is R, this is got by DER by dt is equal to omega into E theta. We have got it. So V omega into E theta plus dVR by dt, I will say acceleration in the radial direction into ER plus dr by dt. This is VR into omega into E theta. Okay. Next, here in this case we get R into omega. So I will write R into d omega by dt. I will write it as alpha, which is angular acceleration. So this is angular acceleration. Okay. Into E theta. Angular acceleration acts in the E theta direction. Plus I have R omega dE theta by dt. So now what is unknown is dE theta by dt. So let me put this as equation number. We have gone till 5 now. So let us go with equation number 6. Okay. So now what we have to find out, dE theta by dt. So let us find this out. This is the acceleration vector. Okay. So let us find out dE theta by dt. Now what is dE theta by dt? Now when you say dE theta by dt, I can write this as dE theta by d theta into d theta by dt. Or this can be written as d theta by dt is omega into dE theta by d theta. Correct? Now what is dE theta by d theta if you say? Now initially you see that we had E theta in this direction. Correct? When I say the initial E theta in this direction. Now if E theta varies, okay, say E theta goes to this particular direction. Okay, this is E theta, and this is E theta plus delta E theta, where delta E theta is in this direction. Are you observing? So this is delta E theta. Okay, this vector is E theta plus delta E theta. Now let us see what is d E theta by d theta. d E theta by d theta can be written as limit delta theta tending to 0 delta E theta divided by delta theta. Now let us see when this delta theta, which is this, okay, or d theta or delta theta we can say, okay, we will put it as delta theta. When this delta theta goes to 0, when it approaches 0, which is the direction E theta approaches? You see, it approaches, see, this would be my ER, okay, it approaches minus ER. Observe, when this goes near this particular, this one goes near this, then what happens? Delta E theta direction is in the direction of minus ER. So that is why this can be written as minus ER. And now this one will become, when you put it over here, this will become, you have omega into minus ER. So what is that? We have dE theta by dt is actually equal to minus omega into ER. Okay. Now this we have to substitute over here, and this particular one becomes R, and sorry, I'll put it over here. Okay, this particular one becomes, it comes down as this particular term becomes minus R omega square into ER. Okay, that particular term becomes minus R omega square into ER. Now we will substitute that back. Now observe here, we have two things here, this one and this one. This will add up to make, these two will add up to make 2 VR omega E theta. Observe this. Okay, so in the omega, in the theta direction, this one term, this two terms, then we have R alpha. What is that in the R term? In the R direction, we have AR and minus R omega square ER. So let us combine this and write the acceleration term. Now the acceleration term here will come as, if you see in that, the acceleration term will come as, first let us write on the radial direction, which is AR plus, sorry, minus R omega square, okay, minus, I will take this out dot, okay, so minus R omega square into ER plus we have R alpha, which is the angular acceleration, plus 2 omega into VR into d theta. Now let us observe this. Let us see. So this is the whole acceleration term, not d theta, I'm sorry. This is E theta. Okay. So ER and E direction. So what are these? This particular part is called the radial acceleration. This particular part is called radial acceleration. This one which acts towards the center, okay, is called centripetal acceleration. This is called the centripetal acceleration. This one is called the angular acceleration. Angular acceleration. And this one is called Coriolis acceleration. This is called the Coriolis acceleration. Now this one, when you say radial acceleration, if something is moving in the, it is rotating, how this R changes with respect to O, how R changes is represented by this. And now suppose a particular particle without change in R, it is moving around a circle, then this is the acceleration which is acting in the radial direction towards the center. And what is R alpha? R alpha is if the omega is changing. if the angular velocity is changing, then I have a acceleration which is acting in the positive theta direction. Another one is the Coriolis acceleration. This Coriolis acceleration can be understood by a rotating slider crank mechanism. For example, in theory of machines we can see, say a particular slider, okay, it is sliding over this rod, and this rod is rotating in this direction with respect to omega, and this is going with respect to Vr. So now this is going with respect to omega and this is going with Vr. Now if it is going like that, the acceleration acts in the E theta direction, which is Coriolis acceleration, acts in the E theta direction, which is given by 2 omega Vr. Okay, so this is Coriolis acceleration. Okay, so we can say AC. Okay, this is Coriolis acceleration. Okay, now this is seen when you go in a merry-go-round. When we go in a merry-go-round, suppose a merry-go-round is moving in the omega direction, and if a person wants to going in this direction and the person wants to move out, then you will see that he will experience a force in the radial direction. Okay, so this is about acceleration. If you have any further doubts, kindly put in the comment box. I will be more than happy to answer that. Thank you very much, students.